grit, ambition, muscle. Grit, muscle, ambition.
Hey friends, welcome to episode 88. I hope you got your coffee. I've got mine. And a little wink to one of my fellow YouTubers out there. However, this is episode 88. We're working on the second floor. As you saw from the end of the last episode, some of the upper floor joists going into position. I'm going to start the blocking now. Put blocking in all in the joist. I'll give you a little peek of that later on. And the rim joists, some of the rim joists have been installed. So that's how I'm able to do some more blocking. So here we go with episode 88. Thanks for joining me. Let's do it.
All right, I'm up here on the second floor. And it looks like that's what our view is going to look like, folks. From this particular view. We got a few sheets of plywood sitting up here so we can put the ridge board in. So that's kind of like the capping board that goes in on the ends of the joists. These sheets of plywood are just kind of nailed down temporarily so we have something to walk on. But indeed very exciting. Okay, so as you can see, it's the same thing over again on this floor. I'm putting these blocks in. And then there's an additional block that locks it in. And that's also adhered with adhesive and nailed from the other side. So we're just going down the line here and filling up that whole channel, like every couple feet, somewhere in there. And I gotta say, it's going a lot smoother this time around because I have prior experience, and I'm using a compound miter saw this time instead of like a chop saw. So I'll show you that. It cuts longer spans, so I don't have to flip each piece, and it makes for more accurate cuts. Still not used to this view. Okay, so all those blocks are put in appropriately right down the end.
It's totally cool, totally awesome, totally fun, totally excellent.
And you can also see that we installed a section of rim joist, or rim board they call it. So that looks good. Alrighty, so basically just add a little safety rail there, just as a precaution.
I didn't do everything that I've done for the last 25 months to have an accident. So I don't mind if it takes me an extra 10 hours to put it up and take it down. I can reuse the wood and blocking and stuff, but it's definitely psychologically helpful, and I'm sure it would be helpful if a wall was falling over the edge, or perhaps something was pushing you with a great amount of inertia. Who knows? But it's much better to have it than not need it, than to not need it and not have it. No, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. Unless that's just what I said.
All right. Okay, so here's a brand new day, and we're putting more blocks in here, more blocks down there, more blocks there, and more blocking down there.
So once again, those go directly under all the walls to support the wall. And same procedure again. the 2x10, locks it in, glue, nail the crap out of it, and this will lead into actually being able to begin the sheeting, which would be kind of cool because you can walk around in comfort up here finally. I should say finally, we're only, this is the second week into the floor. So if I can keep up with this pace, you know, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It's hard to even speculate. My speculation is so inaccurate. I tend not to do it anymore. Let's just get it done as quickly as possible. It's not hot anymore. It's cooling down. It's an overcast day, mostly from the smoke in Kelowna, but also from fall just kicking in. So that's a pleasure, but it's also an indication that eventually precip is coming. My foe. So way back 2 years ago when I decided to use a thicker material, the 2x10 material, which has been sitting here the whole time, I decided to use that because you can't use, they were calling for 2x8 for the footing depth, but I decided to go with a beefier footing to give me a little bit more depth for the rough in as well. But also so that I could reuse this material for just these kind of things. And all this blocking is made out of 2x10. So this used to be footing material. You can see the gray, chalky concrete stuff on there, right? That was a concrete form many months ago, and now I'm reusing the wood, and it's a cool thing to be able to think ahead and have a plan work out. Okay, that was a 12-hour day straight up, 8:30 to 8:30. Little lunch break. I always wonder if people, when they say I work 16 hours a day, like, do they count eating and driving and stuff, or do they mean 16 hours? I think they're exaggerating. So even if I subtract my lunch break, it was 11. It's physical labor though, right? You're not like at a desk or something, which I imagine is brain drain, but you just get beat, your knees get tired. See you tomorrow. I don't know how we would do this without this beautiful crane. With much more intensity and difficulty, I'm sure. All right, here comes the beginning of sheeting the second floor, everybody. And again, we glue it and we screw the hell out of it so it doesn't squeak. Despite the fact that it's going to have 1.5 inches of concrete on it, you still want to make sure that it's really well mounted and that, you know, the concrete's not going to potentially crack if you didn't have a nice, strong. So, you guys know what all that's about. We got a bunch of sheets up here already. Gonna make some cuts. Got the first 3 pieces in. I'm gonna lay in another row or two here and see what we can get done in the next 3 hours before it gets dark. Also got those LVLs in today. That basically cases out the staircase, and things are starting to happen on the second floor. This is the end of the second week of the second floor, so I'm hoping by tomorrow, this time next week, this should be done. Let's hope so. Sometimes it's not as easy as it looks.
you kind of want to stand on the join and get some weight on it so that they fit into one another, but you're also trying to pound 4 feet away. So, you know, a lot of wailing, and they'll eventually be persuaded to do what you want, but it's not like super easy, but they do go. You just gotta keep working it. All right, day 1 of sheeting the second floor complete. Got about, I don't know, 15% done. That's like 4 hours. It's 1,500 square feet per floor, so it's a lot of screwing. And it's a lot of fun.